The Carolina team, their forecheck was not threatening in the first two periods, and Anderson kept them alive. If not, the Vegas Knights would have scored more points. They would have scored more goals within the first two periods, and that's how the game would have collapsed. In the third period, the Hurricanes flipped the ice, as in it was a different team I saw in the third period. I was like, there was no, every loose ball was important. Every loose ball, their forecheck game, everything just went up. They were aggressive. They now went back to a formation of 2-1-2 forecheck. Yeah, that was what was going to help them to that formation, 2-1-2 forecheck. So by the time they went on 2-1-2 forecheck, they were pinching defensemen, Slavin, Miller, and Walker. And they were making every player within the Vegas Knights very, very, very frustrated. So they had shorter forward shifts. They were increasing their pace. They were turning over on exits. If you look at the way it was going, it was clear that they really needed it more than any other person. They didn't want to lose 2 games in a row, being at home. But Vegas, they struggled with turnovers. They were losing board battles. There was fatigue on the long shifts. So for me, they needed to make that adjustment. And unfortunately, the Vegas Kings could not keep it because the fatigue was clear. And Hurricanes turned it around. It became 3-2. And everybody thought that, okay, the Hurricanes had won. 3 straight goals coming from Stankoven, Jankowski, and Stahl. They were all created by pressure. Mostly pressure, rebounds, and broken plays. And that comes when you are putting pressure on the team. There'll be a lot of broken plays. And they were able to take advantage of it. But Vegas now also came back and scored one more, and it went into overtime. And special team in overtime now decided who the winner would be. Vegas was able to take a high-stake penalty. And the problem was, if Vegas had stayed a bit more disciplined in the overtime, because you don't, what is your business having penalty or playing playing without, putting in the right discipline in an overtime game? That penalty really, it really worked against them. It was, if you look at it, St. Jarvis had the overtime winner. There was a perfect bumper to slot movement. Everybody was moving, Ghosty Bay had a quarterbacking, approach to the overtime. Aho was drawing defenders very, very high. Jarvis was drifting into soft ice. And, Vegas Kings, their penalty kill, you understand, suffered because of the fact that they already had a problem with fatigue. So their penalty kill was very passive and it collapsed immediately. That was why, Hurricanes was able to score in the overtime. But if you look at the tactical teams that kind of decided the game, and I decided that, it's better to just look at it from a strategic point of view. The Carolina team, their identity, they are relentless pressure and they are very fast. When they were playing against Ottawa in the first round, I was like, man, I've not seen any team play this fast in the postseason. And so far, they still have the record. In the third period, they forced about 7 defensive zone turnovers from the Vegas Golden Knights. For you to force 7 turnovers from a good team like Vegas Knights, you must be very good in putting them under pressure. The Vegas Golden Knights had 4 failed exits. They could not even come out from the goaltender. 4 times they failed in their exits. 2 icing that led to goals. 2 of their mistakes led to goals as well. So if you look at it generally, Vegas, their bottom pair, especially Colan and Lauzo, they struggled badly. That was the problem. So the fatigue is getting to them and they need to do a bit more. If you look at their turnovers on ice, Theodore had turnover, Anifin had the turnover, McNabb also had the turnover, too many heavy minutes. It's also, beginning to work against them. But they have to find a way because you are in the Champions League. I mean, not really Champions League per se. Let's just say they are in a Stanley Cup final. You need to give it everything you can because you don't know when you get to a final again. Next year, a lot of teams are going to be better. So make sure you get everything done and win what you can win now. That's why Game 3 is a major decider in this series. Vegas was 0 of 3 in the overtime, and that worked against them, and that's where the game, went out of hand.